Okay guys, we're gonna be show you our presentation about job hunting. Let's start it. The big idea of job hunting is where all the jobs just waiting to be discovered and how to find them. Bob Mosta charged with helping bolster sales of condominiums for a mid-sized destroyed area. The company had targeted downsizer retirees looking more out of the family home and divorced single parents, and the buyers have ability to customize every detail imaginable and offers 30-page checklist to be made. The first is the company provides triple waterproofs and many more to give a sense of luxury, but the sales didn't improve. And the second is the company at the bay windows to a few softcase units, but the sales is still didn't improve. And then he doing focus group and make conversation with the potential customer. At the first, he thought that the customer want a big living room and the second bedroom for guests and the second bedroom for guests and visitors. But in the fact, they want to move old furniture like the big dining table instead of given to charity. And Bob Mosta found that dining room table has emotional function that the customer want to receive. They don't have to move in the condominiums because the customer have anxiety with that. How can they do with their furniture? It's something that had profound meaning. That realization helped Bob Mosta and team begin to understand the struggle of this potential home buyers face. I went thinking we were business of new home construction, but I realized we were instead in the business of moving life. And then to solve the customer anxiety, condominiums provide four. The first is 3 variation, second moving service, third is 2 years of storage, fourth is sorting rooms. The sales of condominiums increased. It made customers spend only 1 month to decide to move in condominiums, which usually customers need 5 or 6 months to make decision. By 2007, when sales in the industry were off by 49% and the market all around them was plummeting, the developers had actually grown in the business 25%.
So, we can conclude that job theory is integration tool, a way to make a sense of the complex amalgam of needs that are driving consumer choice in particular circumstance. It tells you which piece of information are needed, how they relate to one another, and how they can be used to create solutions that perfectly nail the job. Job theory is effective because it focuses you on the right complexity, breaking it down into elements you need to understand to make successful innovation.
And then, where are the jobs? The job analysis doesn't require you throw all the data and research. You have to already gather personas, ethnographic, research focus group, customer panels, competitive analysis, and so on. So, can all perfectly valid starting points, uncovering important insight if you are looking with the right lens. A job lens changes what we see. The priority and trade-off that customer willing to make may look completely different. The competitive landscape shift to a surprising case of characteristic and opportunity for growth appears where none might have seemed possible. So, how we find where is the job? There are 5 steps. The first is finding job close to home, and the second is competing with nothing, and the third is workarounds and compensating with behaviors, and the fourth is look for what people don't want to do, and the fifth is unusual use. The first is finding job close to home. There are the example of can start how to finding the job close to home is understanding the unresolved jobs in your own life can provide fertile territory for innovation. There are the guy, her name is Han. They were focusing. They have his cousin have a problem to understand what made in their school. They cannot understand. But Khan is start when his cousin and his classroom. His cousin feeling stressful. Then they make a video. They make a simple video in the YouTube. Some people we know that we can find easy in the YouTube tutorial how to solve the math equation. But what make Khan good is their video is feel successful because they be able to learn complex math concept in the ways that was actually fun. And today we know the academy academic website of the Khan. We in the left side. Millions of students all over the world learn by their own pace through Khan Academic Online. And this website is free for everyone. We just can access in the website. And the second is competing with nothing. There are the company of Kimberly-Clark. The Kimberly-Clark was first introduced in the 1918s when the century identified the opportunity how to solve a painful problem for adults who suffer with incontinence, typically ill or elderly people. In the research that only a small percentage in a 4 women suffers from urinary incontinence, and from the one is only a small percentage of them use any incontinence product at all. And then there are the problem of the adult. Nearly 40% of adults over 50 suffers from incontinence. The Kimberly-Clark identify these two problems is opportunity to make a new product, to make because their competitor have the other company haven't made the product to solve this problem. Then Kimberly-Clark identify this problem as an opportunity to solve the painful problem for adults who suffer with incontinence, typically or ill or elderly. So what they do is the problem is the stigma for anxiety exists and the most quality of the life tool on suffers. This changes what their problem is. This changes sociality or emotional sociality is they don't if they have incontinence, maybe they will close themselves from social. For example, they not go to travel, they stop going to restaurant and shows and stop spending time with their friend and the family. We can imagine if someone have this problem, they will close from their social. But Kimberly-Clark make it the problem. In the old there are the on the outside in the top is there are the incontinence product in the old. They have a very big size, but Kimberly-Clark make it in the smaller size. A job perspective can change how you see the world so significantly that measures new growth opportunity arise where no had seems possible before. And then the third is work around and compensating behaviors. There are the bank of bank. The bank offers saving accounts and handful certificate deposit and mutual funds. We know that to save to avoiding the inflation, we need to save in the bank. But sometimes the bank have a regulation to make a minimum deposit, difficult regulation. But in bank offers a few saving account, handful certificate of deposit and mutual funds. And also the in bank has no deposit minimums, and we can open an account with a $1 if you want. It is fast, convenient, and more secure than jamming tens and 20 into the bank of the drawer. And right now, with their program offerings to the customer, the in-bank have growth fastest growing bank in the United States. And indirect bank was sold into capital one for $9 billion.
Okay, the next one is look for what people don't want to do. The most of the people don't want to go to the doctor for several reasons. Maybe you should spend a long time to sit in for a waiting room until your name called in, and after you meet with the doctor will be checking your condition and give you some medicine in pharmacy, but you still waiting around 30 minutes to pick it up. And then I think to throw that step is more complicated, right? If you have a self-predictable disease, except the disease require doctoral care. But for this, from this case, we got a point. There's the best solution to make an innovation. For example, PicMeds. PicMeds is established by Rick Krieger, alum of Harvard Business School, with his partner. Start from Rick Krieger spent a frustrating few hours waiting in emerging room for his son to get a strep throat test. In PicMeds, CVS Minute Clinic can see all inpatient instantly, and nurse practitioners can prescribe medicine. You only coming and you will be checking your condition by nurse practitioners and physician assistant, and you don't need to spend a long time for waiting your medicine to pick up because a clinic dead inside a pharmacy. And the fifth is an unusual use. Before Arm and Hammer provide a variety product is coming from Arm and Hammer baking soda had been a staple in every American kitchen, an essential ingredient for baking. But in the late 1960 years, management observed the diverse circumstances for which consumers added it to laundry detergent, mixed into toothpaste, sprinkled in on the carpet, or left an open box in the refrigerator, as well as other unusual use. And then the emotional score. There were millions of babies in China who, according to local practice, didn't use diapers at all. The P&G company issues disposable baby diaper product known the 10-cent diaper because the price of those diapers is 10 cents. But to P&G surprise, the cut price diaper were not flying off the shelves because needs are only limited by functional need without taking into account the broader social and emotional dimension of the struggle that the consumer wants to feel. So now, P&G eventually relaunched the diapers in China, and as feature the explicit emotional and social benefit research that suggests baby who get a good night's sleep develop better, like this. The last one is method of madness. Method of madness is the search for a cause with a theory to predict what will cause what to happen. And the job to be done. The magic of job to be done lens is that there is not any magic required at all. The lens allows you to look at the same things everyone else is looking at, but enable you to see differently. Maybe that's all our presentation.